Hi everyone, Dead Battery here, and thank you for joining me on my channel. So today's video is going to be another unboxing of some older game systems. This is going to be a two-parter because I got a hold of two new game systems that I was really excited to get, and I'm excited to show you what I found. The first system is going to be the MSX, and this one is really unique because the company that created it wanted to have a unified system so that no matter what company made it, everything would work together. There is some controversy on what MSX stood for. One of the meanings was Microsoft Extended, another one was Mitsushita Sony, and the last one was Machines with Software Exchangeability. The creator did later write a book and he explained a couple reasons why it was MSX. And one of the main reasons was VHS was really popular and it was only 3 letters, so he thought MSX would work really well. Let me know in the comments which one you think it was called or which one you would rather call it. There were a couple different kinds of MSXs. The first MSX came out in 1983. MSX2 came out in 1985. The MSX2 Plus came out in 1988. And it was only released in Japan. There was an MSX3 scheduled to be released, but they busted their release date and then they changed the name to the MSX Turbo R. It didn't have as much success, and once again it was only released in Japan. The one I got a hold of was an MSX2 Plus, which, as I mentioned, was only released in Japan. When I got it in the mail, it came in a box that looked like this. It was huge and it was definitely really heavy. So let's unpack it and see what it looks like. Mine is a Sony. And at the top there is a cartridge slot for a game. And on the back there is another spot as well as a couple attachments. As you can see, there's one for a printer. On the one side there's a spot for floppy disks as well as 2 controllers. I was also pretty lucky and I was able to get a hold of a printer. I'm really excited to use this and see what fun things I can print out. The place I bought it from also supplied all the books. So the first one is all the hookups and instruction manual for the MSX. The second one is for the printer and how to use it. And then the last two, I'm assuming, are how to use the operating system on the MSX. I do not have enough reading ability in Japanese yet, but once I do, I'm hoping that I'll be able to use this system to its full capacity. I do not have the correct cords with this, unfortunately, so I was not able to get sound, but I was able to get video. And it does turn on, so let's try out some games. This is what the main screen looks like without any games in it. I do not know how to get past this part yet, but eventually I'm going to figure it out. I was able to find this role-playing game, and the translation on it is Haido Raido 3. But once it's translated, from what I can see, it's just called Hide Ride. So if you're looking for it, just know that when it goes from Japanese to English translation, it doesn't always translate properly. Did have a really long intro which I cut out, and it explained the whole story of why we're at where we're at in this game. It was definitely very interesting. This is what the main screen looks like. You just input your character's name. As you can see, my A and Y buttons don't work, so I am going to have to take the keyboard apart to clean it. And I did choose to be a monk because that was the first character ever made when I started playing D&D. This is what the game looks like. Right now, you just go around and punch things because that is the only ability I have. So we're going to attack this jelly here, get some points and some gold, and then go after this next creature. It's a treant. I'm not too sure how to pronounce it. We definitely got more gold, but as you can see, you will get attacked in this game as well, and once you're attacked, it is considered game over. The second system we're going to unpack is called the PCFX. This was another one that was really hard to get a hold of, only because it was released in Japan and there were not that many consoles made compared to other consoles. This system was released in 1994, and unfortunately because of Sega and Sony, it did not do too well, and there was only 62 games released with it. They did build this system to look like a computer tower, and it even had expansion slots on it. This one was an interesting one because it was something that my husband had when he was a kid but didn't really play or pay attention to. And now that we're older and we looked at the games that come with it, this system, be forewarned, has a lot of pervy games attached with it. They did not want to do any of the 3D generating hardware, so they focused on making it the best 2D machine they could. The really neat thing about this system is it's got full video, so it was more focused on the anime aspect of games. So when you were playing a game, you were actually playing the anime. And as I mentioned, it was really focused on more of the anime and hentai. So be careful with the games. I can't actually show a lot of them, but there are a few that aren't as bad, so let's unbox this one and see what it looks like. So the box is fairly large, and it does just look like a regular computer tower. On the top here is your CD slot. On the front here, there are 2 spots for controllers. Unfortunately, I only have one right now. Here's what the book looks like. It just explains the system. And here is one of the games I found that was a little less graphic than some of the other ones. On the menu, we have the music CD and the photo CD, as well as the game. Unlike the MSX, this system did have a longer load time for a lot of the games. You will need to know some kind of Japanese when you are playing any of these games. There was no English for any of the 62 games released. Unfortunately, I did not read anything while I was starting the game. It had a very long anime intro. But this is what the game looks like. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do, so I was just running around talking to people. I was actually trying to find an exit to see if there was some area I could go into to be able to attack something. But I'll have to read about this game a little bit more before I can fully play it. Here is the second game that I could not show any of the intro, but you pick one of these female characters, and I'm assuming it's some kind of fighting game. I'm not too sure. I do think it looks really neat on screen, but once again, I didn't read up on it or read anything, so I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, but I still wanted to show it to you because I think it looks really neat. So those were my two systems, the MSX 2 Plus and the PCFX. I think that the MSX is going to be a little bit easier to get some of the games because there are more games, where the PCFX might be difficult because there was so little games with it, and the fact that they may be a niche market, so I feel like they may be a little more expensive. I'm hoping to take apart the MSX and give it a good cleaning because, as you saw, some of the buttons didn't work, so I wasn't able to fully type on it. And without the full ability of the keyboard, I don't think I'll be able to get into any other part of the system to even attempt to use the printer. As far as the PCFX, I'm debating if I want to take the shell off and give it a good soak to see if I can get the yellowing off of it a little bit, but I'm not too sure if I want to take that system apart or not. Either way, I'm excited to have these game systems so that I can collect some games that look interesting and hopefully learn some more Japanese so that they are easier to play. I hope you enjoyed this video of unboxing some new retro consoles. Let me know in the comments if you have either of these game systems, and if you do, what games do you have? And if you like this video, please like and subscribe and share with your friends, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye!